Okay, here we are with another tackle test video. I think this is tackle test 14, and this is going to be mini version. So we got 3 baits for you today. They're mini baits. Number 1 is going to be the new Z-Man Chatterbait Mini Max. Now the Chatterbait, the jackhammer, is a definite go-to for me and basically most of the guys on tour. There's a few guys that actually throw the Thunder Cricket. Outside of that, the vast majority of the guys on tour throw that jackhammer from Z-Man. And this is just kind of like a smaller version of that. It's nice because it's not $15 a piece, but there's a quarter, 3/8, and ½ ounce. I've got a quarter right here, and then this is, I believe, the 3/8, and we're gonna test this one, and I've already got a Missile Baits Mini D chunk on there, and it looks really nice together. That's the first bait we're gonna test. The next is the smallest size of the Poppin' Frog. It's a 1/5 ounce. It's hard for me to even say, 1/5 of an ounce. And it's the Bronzeye Pop 40 is the technical name for that. But that little jewel, I've already got it tied on right here. This is the straight black one. Love that guy. And we'll get into that in a second. The last one is a big surprise for many out there. It's a bait that I just recently found out about. It is a Megabass. It is called the Karashi. And it's all I can do not to call it the Karachi or the Karate. But that's what it is right there. It's like a little mini lure. It's a little mini lure. We're gonna figure out exactly what that does here in a minute. But just stay tuned for that. It is an absolutely beautiful and expensive bait, and it's very hard to find, but we'll tell you where you can find it, and we'll see what it does in the water as well. So let's start with the SPRO. We already have it tied on. We're out here a little too chilly, not the right water conditions really to be throwing this, but we're gonna test it. And there's 2 things that I wanna test with this little mini frog, and that is, can the fish actually get hooked on it? I mean, it's a tiny frog, and it's got tiny hooks, and does it have any action? But, so it's got the Gamakatsu, let's see, what size does it say it is? It's a Gamakatsu frog hook. It doesn't say what it is. I would guess it is in the range of a 1/0 frog hook. Extremely cute, and it seems very soft, and I think that they'll get hooked. But it's still, I've got it on a bait caster, medium heavy bait caster, 30-pound braid. This is 30-pound Sunline, the Sunline X Plasma braid. Very good casting braid. I'm gonna see kind of the distance that it's gonna cast. Because the 1/5 of an ounce, I'm a little worried that I won't be able to cast it far enough. But yeah, I can throw it a good little ways. That was just a first dry run. I didn't want to go too hard. Yeah, I can throw it plenty far enough. I can throw it plenty far enough. But then I can immediately see it'll definitely spit really good. So if I want to just, do some light action with it, it's popping really nice. I'm going to look at it right here close to the boat. It's got, the right balance. The butt is sitting down just a little bit. It's upright. It's not upside down, which is cool. I'm going to throw it in the water a couple times and see what it does. As it lands, it's going to land upright. Perfect position to work and be popped. Bloop. It's got the little legs on it as well. So I'm gonna just cast this thing a little bit and just get a good little feel for it. Oh, dude, they're gonna crush that thing. I mean, if you live in you fish a pond where there's a bunch of 2-pounders in it, 3-pounders, this thing is gonna absolutely just dog wreck them. And I think that the body seems soft enough that you could throw it on a spinning rod as well. But I would 100% go straight braid if you could. 12 or 15 pound, even 20, but 20 is not going to cast as well. Like a 15 pound, 12 pound straight braid. You can throw this little bad boy a mile. It pops really, really nice. Job well done to SPRO. I'll just, you know, Rojas is the man there with designing the frogs, and he did a really good job with that guy right there. And I'm a tournament bass fisherman, right? That's what I do. I am going to keep a handful of these in my frog box, just in case we get to that situation to where they're just hitting at the frog, or they're just kind of nudging it, not really wanting to commit to it, or there's a bunch of tiny bait around the grass that I'm fishing, and I needed a little smaller profile. I'm gonna keep 5 or 6 of those in my frog box at all times whenever I might be fishing a frog, because it could be the deal. So that's how important I feel like this bait is for my fishing. And again, if I'm taking my kids to go to a pond and it's in the summertime, I'm 100% putting one of those things on and giving them a rod with straight braid. Done deal. It's gonna be fun. But all right, so here's the Chatterbait Mini Max, the compact bladed jig. Apologize for the wind kicking up, folks. Crazy deal here. I'm just gonna throw this deal on my square bill rod, same rod I throw my square bill crankbaits or my Little Johns on, and it literally says square bill rod on it. So I don't know what line this bait was designed to be thrown on, but I would probably not throw it on much more than 14. It's a mini bait, you know. It's going to be killer on tidal rivers and stuff like that. But let's look at this bad boy in the water. Put this over here. Put this bad boy. Oh yeah, it definitely has good thump, nice mini thump. Got that little thump. Those legs are kicking. I just put the legs on there, just kind of complete the package. You can put any kind of little small minnow type bait on there. But I'm looking to see how much, if it wanders much. This is the heavier one. But man, it's got a really nice smooth thump, and you can see that when the blade compacts, the hook is still exposed, so you could definitely still get a good hook set if the fish eats it and pushes it back. Sometimes that does happen. Ideally, they hit it like that and get hooked right there in the upper lip. But I'm gonna get a handful of these and put them in my box. I had the stealth chatterbaits in my box, and I didn't fish them as much as I fished them a fair amount. I just didn't feel like this has got more vibration than the stealth does. If you want to compare it to the different ones, the stealth chatterbait is a very subtle chatterbait. It has its niche. It has its time. I have learned recently in the past year that it really can be the deal and under certain circumstances. So I'm not going to rule that out. But that Z-Man mini chatterbait, I mean, underwater, you can see it looks just like a chatterbait's supposed to look, but more compact. Again, I think especially the 1/4 ounce is going to be amazing for ponds, small bodies of water, tidal rivers. It's going to be, you can fish it on a bait caster or spinning rod. I think that's going to have a new home in a lot of tackle boxes. And like I said, I've already got about 8 or 10 of them that I'm going to put into my tackle box for next year. So that's a big deal. That is a big deal for me. All right, now for the Megabass Karashi. And just because I don't speak of the Japanese, I'm going to read what I can in English. And it says Karashi secret worming bait. That's what it says. And then if you open this thing up, you can see that there's some directions. Most of them are in Japanese. Oh, there is a little bit in English, I think. But I have very bad eyes, but we're in good light out here. So Number one, it says trick action. I'm going to read this before I fish it so I kind of know what I'm facing. With slow retrieves, Karashi performs in eye-shaped actions and defenseless wobbling action evokes injured bait, triggering bites from opportunistic feeders. I can actually read, I just partially blind, I don't have my readers on. So that's the trick action, which is showing like a zero spook twitching action. And then it says natural swimming action, which shows the bait going in a straight line. It says the extremely natural minute vibrations trigger bites from clever fish. I always fish for clever fish. Not by preference, that's just how it works out for me. Anyway, Karashi generates overwhelming performance from the combination of its darting action and eye-shaped action. So I guess the eye shape is the straight swimming, and then the darting would be the back and forth. So a little bit of the translation, but I think I get the picture of what we're supposed to do with this thing. And just so you know, it's got nothing on the front. There's no snap or anything. So I put a little loop knot on there. That you could probably fish this on a spinning rod with braid, you know, light braid that like you would a, or you could just do straight fluorocarbon. You know, so either way, I think would be fine. But I went ahead and put a little small loop knot on there, as you can see. But the bait is, I mean, just totally beautiful. And it's got a little rattle in it. It's got a little cup right up under that spot right there where you tie to. A little cupped action. And it's got really small hooks on it, and the back hook has some mylar on there. It seems like it's too much mylar. That's just me. I might trim that up a little bit. Just saying. As realistic as it looks, you got this big old fluff of mylar out there. But let's put this bad boy in the water and see what it does. We'll get down there. So I'm just throwing it out there, and it looks like it's just sitting on the surface. Now it's slowly sinking. Okay, it's slowly sinking in the water. I wanted to see what the buoyancy was first. So it comes back up to the surface and then it just slowly sinks. Look at that. I like that. That's just kind of dirty how slow that sinks. I mean, just really slow. I'm sure if you put bigger hooks on it, it would sink faster, but that's pretty cool. I'm going to pitch it a little further out there and just kind of twitch it. Oh gosh, it's like a fluke. If you twitch it on slack line, kind of get the cadence down, it just kind of darts back and forth. And then it goes nose up. You know, so like you dart it back and forth and then it'll turn around and go nose up. It definitely is more tail weighted. So I'm gonna pitch it back out there ways and then just reel it straight in. I'm gonna try that eye action, that old interstate action. Seems like it's just right up there on the surface, almost like it's, you know, one of those no-see-ums coming across the water. It's subtle, all right. It doesn't do a whole lot, but with that tail weighted in that cup in the back, it just wants to come up near the surface. And we got wind blowing right now, but it looks like it just wants to rise right back up to the surface. Dude, that looks just like one of those little minnows swimming on the surface. Now my guess is, here's my 30-second guess on what makes this, what the deal is with this bait. When you get those little isolated shad up on the surface in the fall, it happens in the shad spawn too. Get those little isolated shad swimming around, swimming just right up under the surface, making that little teeny wake. we both know what happens to them little guys. They end up getting toilet bowl flushed by old Mr. Big Lips. This little dude right here might be the trick. That's kind of what I'm thinking of, might be the time, is you're just gonna reel it just like that. You kind of stop it, and it looks, dude, it looks just like one of those little no-see-ums on the surface. And the reason it does that, what it appears is it's tail weighted, so it's tilted back, and then it's got this little cup on the front, and that helps keep it right up on the surface but not break the surface. So that my guess is that's how it was intended to be fished, is right up under the surface, kind of waking up under the surface. And then if you get to where there's one following it and he doesn't go for it, or you know, is a little unsure, you can twitch it. You can give that little twitch and make it, you know, kind of dart left and right. So I'm gonna try to do that. So you're throwing it out there, maybe you get one that's interested, kind of looking at it. I mean, you can stop and just give it a little twitch, like it's injured. And you can reel it along, maybe twitch it again. But if you reel it, it's gonna come back up to the surface, and then do that action again. I can tell you there's some tournaments I would have liked to have had something like this, just to be able to zing it way out there. I mean, because you could throw it a country mile, and then you can just reel it, you know, get it up on the surface, and then it'll just kind of stay right along the surface. You want to twitch it, you can twitch it. Oof, it's gonna be one of those baits you got to figure out. I think it's gonna be a killer for spotted bass. Could be a killer for smallmouth as well. Smallmouth love to come up to the surface and eat baits like that off the surface. The little small hooks, they scare me to death, I'll be honest. It scares the crap out of me. But that's the Megabass Karashi. I got this one from Angler's Choice Marine in Virginia, and last I heard they had a few more. I've never seen them in another tackle shop, but you know, everybody's looking for something new and something different. So there's your new and different, the little Megabass Karashi, and that's pretty much it. If you have any more questions on these mini baits, or if you have any input on any three of these baits, if you use them, you have any tips, you have any pointers, please drop it down there in the comments. This is a community. I want to share all this information so that we can all be better bass fishermen, and we can all catch more fish, because that's what we love doing, and that's why we like tackle tests and looking at all these lures, so we can catch more bass than everybody else. So I hope you guys enjoyed the watching as much as I enjoyed testing new lures just for you.